great song that is, if you like rap or hip hop like I do, a great song. Exhibit. What you see is what you get. One of the fucking low key underground bangers I missed. Somehow left off my radar. Anyway, we're gonna learn how to start a revolution. Welcome, everybody. Gather around. If you want to be part of this revolution, leave a comment below what we're gonna name our revolution, what our party's name is gonna be, what are the goals of the revolution, and ultimately, how do we get people into our revolution? We're gonna learn. This is Norman Finkelstein, Finkelstein, how to build a revolution.
The most important thing the leftist has to do is to achieve victories, not because of victory itself. It's because you have to show people that if you organize, you can win. You can win. I'm of the old school. The old school is, when I say the old school, it's the historic tradition of Marxism, also anarchism, the left tradition. I'm of the old school. The old school.
Listen, I subscribe to Marxism, anarchism, not about that life. I'm sorry, eventually. Because the whole idea, I guess, of, well, I don't know how to even describe it. Anarchists think you can just demolish the state and just everyone will live. Where Marxists think that the state has to wither away over time. It cannot just be dismantled immediately, I guess. Anyway, let's keep going.
Slogans are not just catchphrases. Slogans are the condensation of a vast amount of thought and analysis.
Sure. A lot of
the
people.
Slogan is preceded by a vast amount of thought and analysis, because what the slogan condenses is, as the fancy, like New Left Review type Marxists would say, a slogan condenses the historical conjuncture. What is possible at this particular moment in time politically? What is possible? To understand what's possible, you need to weigh the political forces.
I think that's a good concept, because like the slogan, yeah, it has to be like a culmination of this conscious thought of the time, of the epoch that we live in. And lots of things are inflation. Immigration is a big one that the fascists are using. Inflation, cost of living, healthcare, higher wages, higher taxes, benefits, all that socialist, quote unquote, socialist benefits, reformist approach. You have to be about that. But it's also kind of more than that, demanding basically what the workers are earned, because the workers have been exploited for hundreds of centuries. Class struggle. We live in a hierarchical system. We need a class conscious revolution. But anyway, I'm rambling. This video is going to be like 30 minutes just from me rambling.
What can we achieve at this moment? It weighs the political forces at play, which already requires a very keen analytic mind, political mind, somebody who has understands the knack of politics. That's a Leon Trotsky. I believe it was also a Noam Chomsky. He wasn't a figure like Chomsky, but politics saturate his bones. He knew he had a feel, because when you have to balance the political forces, you have to have a feel for your times. You have to have a feel for your time. It's very subjective.
You got a vibe check, dude. You got to pass the vibe check. It's true. Trump is kind of a great example of the vibe check passing for the Republicans. Like, he's a fascist, but he's funny and he's getting shit done. Whatever. I don't care if he's Hitler or shit like that. Like, yeah. He reads the room pretty well. He's got the knack for reading the room.
balance of
He's got the vibe, charisma pass. He's got the charisma stats.
political forces.
He's passing every
What are
speech check.
people ready to sacrifice for? What can be extracted from the political moment? So if you look at the great slogans of the left, the 8-hour day, the 8-hour working day, that was a condensation of a vast amount of knowledge and
An 8-hour working day. Yeah, because they were being overworked and stuff. We want an 8-hour working day. Kind of that you could even, to bounce off of that, you could go the retirement age, 75 retirement age. Like, isn't that crazy?
assessment of what we can extract now, what's winnable. When the Bolsheviks begin organizing in in Russia, there's this whole debate. Should we call for the democratic dictatorship of the workers and peasants, or should we call for the dictatorship of the proletariat? It all sounds very obscure to you, but if you read the actual debates, it was all about where are we in the historical struggle? What are the political forces at play now at this particular moment? What can we extract?
Isn't that kind of crazy? It's like marketing, but like hundreds of years ago. It is marketing. You want a slogan that's catchy, that kind of resonates with the exploitation, the alienation of the time, right? Like, it's very interesting.
From this political moment. And
what's our slogan, chat?
Everybody knows the most famous of the Bolshevik slogans in 1917. It wasn't these rhetorical catchphrases like globalize the Intifada, which are utterly vacuous. It was the most unsensational slogan you can imagine. Bread, peace, and land. Bread, peace, and land. Bread meant for the workers, peace meant for the soldiers, land meant for the peasants. Bread,
nice.
Peace, and land.
That's pretty
good. Guess
good.
What? Here's the point. That slogan was a condensation of so much analysis.
Yeah, lots of people agonized over that slogan.
At this historic moment. You know, it's Lenin studying the development of capitalism in Russia, his famous, most scholarly work, a very substantial piece of scholarship. Why is he analyzing it? Trying to make sense of the historic moment. Is the capitalist system developing in Russia's rural areas or not? That's what it was about, whether capitalism was taking root in Russia, the development of capitalism in Russia. So I'm of the old school that slogans, if you're serious, have to be politically
concise,
very transparent, and precise. Bernie Sanders was the last of the great socialists. I'm not saying he's my kind of socialist.
Yeah.
He wasn't and isn't, but he's certainly within that tradition.
Sure, he's a reformist.
He runs a campaign every single place he goes, to the point of such tedious repetition, which I thought was correct. Medicare for all, Green New Deal, abolish student debt. He knew those issues would resonate. They would resonate with the overwhelming majority of the American people. And he believed they were winnable.
And he still lost.
Because you don't make a slogan if you don't think it can win, because then you're in power. And you can't win any of your...
Kamala Harris's slogan? We're not going back. We're not going back. You remember that fucking... Oh, God.
Demands, and then you're totally exposed. Your whole platform is destroyed. He's not going to do that. He thought it was winnable. I believe they were winnable as well, you know. That's a
He was
serious,
so winnable.
very unsexy.
I
as
wish we had Bernie
they
instead of
used to
Trump
call it.
1.0.
Medicare, Green New Deal, abolish student debt, free college education. That's a socialist platform, just like the
Sure.
8-hour day, which animated the workers' movement from the end of the 19th century well into the New Deal,
Okay, yeah.
well into the
Mhm.
mid 1930s.
Yeah.
I'd
follow.
That was a huge demand. Remember, workers are working 14 hours a day. But why was it 8 hours and why wasn't it 5 hours? There was a sense of what was possible at this point in historic development. 5 hours was not within reach, and that was correct.
Society
We're
would
in
have fallen apart.
2024, and still 8 hours is pretty much
standard.
the core demand.
Isn't that
How
crazy?
many are saying?
Isn't that insane? Like 8 hours, hundreds of years ago. Like we have become so much more productive with our tools, our productivity, our efficiency, and we still don't get more breaks, more work, same amount of work, same working day, no breaks, maybe some more holidays, but that's
6 hours. Not many people.
7 hours.
So
Come on,
that brings me to your first question.
6 or 7 hours.
Globalize the Intifada.
Okay.
I think it's an empty slogan because
sure.
A political slogan has to be very concrete and very precise.
Alberta probably just did the coolest thing.
Yeah, sure. I don't. Very. It's not concise. I can agree with that.
For you, there is a new way to apply for a reduced rate.
That's just. There's a difference.
I'm assuming this is just like a cutout part of a full interview, but this is still an interesting bit, like segment.
Political slogan.
I'm assuming they're talking about Gaza and Palestine.
That's a political exhortation. And political exhortations, that's kind of PR. It doesn't really interest me all that much. You have to be serious. I have to be serious. This is a serious business. You know why? It's about life. It's about life, which
life is so serious.
You will be the one expiring.
I'm not very serial about life, TBH.
Imposed.
I'm sure when I'm at my wit's end, I'll be like, no, my life. But
I always had the moral gravitas.
Kind of like whatever, dude.
Kind of
like mid.
I came from a home where you don't trivialize life. Your whole family was exterminated.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Life.
Yeah, well, if you don't know, Norman Finkelstein, his family is a Holocaust survivor family or something. I'm not sure his mother got out or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but his whole family got like exterminated, and somehow his mother. I don't know the whole story, but crazy.
Everything begins with life.
And ends with death,
so,
chat.
I never trivialized it.
Sorry,
but
I can't
in my
be serious
politics,
ever.
In my pre-Chomsky era, there was the flamboyance of the left, the Black Panther Party, and things like that, and I was part of it.
As we all like to be.
So,
we just want to be included, us communists.
You have to be serious.
Us Marxists.
A slogan can do damage to a movement. And movements are ultimately about life, about the sacredness of life, about the value of life. And you have to be serious. But I will not cede ground on the principle. Politics is about what's the maximum you can extract at a given historic moment, given the balance of political forces. That's what politics is.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the maximum you can extract within the trajectory of your goal. If you're a socialist and a communist, what you want to extract has to be somehow consistent with your ultimate objective.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to go in an anti-immigration platform. Yeah. You may be able to win it at this point, but that's not that's not our meaning the leftists. That's not our trajectory.
Yeah, leftists we're internationalists, right? I'm not sure what the proper term is, but nations are kind of outdated, borderless. classless society, right? But what's the extractable goal out of that? Out of a socialist sort of thing approach? I'm not sure
That's not our
for
trajectory.
the time. Well, but definitely, you could win on an anti-immigrant approach. But socialists are for all workers. Doesn't matter your race, nation, creed,
Our
whatever.
trajectory doesn't want to demonize immigrants and
Exactly.
recognize the horrors that, in a large number of cases, brought them here
Mhm.
in desperation. Traversing deserts in order to get here. So it's not any immediate objective. It has to be consistent with your long-term goal, but it also has to be realizable. Do you know why it has to be realizable? Because people lose interest if they fight for something and then nothing comes of it. The most important thing that the leftists has to do is to achieve
Deliver.
victories, not because of victory itself. It's because you have to show people that if you organize, you can win.
Exactly.
You can
The
win.
people have the power.
Even small victories.
You can have, if you have, Rosa Luxemburg wrote about this, if you have a critical mass of workers, you can start a revolution. You can demand, you can win for your demands. It can happen if you have a critical mass, but it's hard. Fucking very hard to form.
Raises the spirits. Possibility. Because a whole generation has lost belief in its power that it can win.
Oh yeah,
That it
fucking
can
no
win
one.
anything.
Exactly.
It was the expression I was growing up. The expression was, you can't fight City Hall. That you can never win against power.
Yeah.
But you can win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most important message to
Look how much
convey to
Elon
people
Musk
who are
spends
feeling
on
hopeless
elections that he
about
still
the
loses.
future. And the way you inspire people to fight is by showing you can win. And I think it can be won at the local level. It can be won now. So think global. The big picture, the world capitalist system, how it all is knitted together. You have to think global and act local, because local is where struggles are winnable right now.
Yeah, true. And it's like, start local. What if you? Because most likely you're not gonna. What's the point of going to a whole nother country to start to be a political activist? What? Just do it where you're at. Yeah, no, good video, cool video, cool insights. Slogans, never really thought about the slogan and how much time went into all these slogans, but I mean, it's true.